A shadow suddenly falls over me and Mikali, accompanied by a booming voice. Here's a better idea. Why don't we give you a special escort to the palace dungeon? Bolting up, I see that we're surrounded by a ring of angry mermaid guards, all of whom have their spears pointed straight at us. I thought you said the guards wouldn't find us here. I didn't think they would. Maybe someone told them where we were. That's impossible. There's no one here except for you and me and Jack. Wait a second. Why has Jack been so quiet lately? My gaze drifts over to the biggest guard. Perched on his shoulder is my good-for-nothing merbird, admiring his reflection in the guard's polished shell helmet. Noticing our glares, Jack stops in mid-preen. Oh, sorry, Captain. I fought with all my might, but these terrible fishermen were too strong to defeat. They captured me and forced me to tell them where you were. I don't believe this guy. How much did they bribe you with? A full suit of armour. Great, that's just great. There's only one thing I can do now. I got to... what are we gonna... run? I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't want to blow my cover. Let Mikali handle it. I gulp as the guards grab my arms and yank me back. I really hope Mikali can figure a way out, preferably before our heads end up as decorations for the palace gates. Since the guards haven't gone after him yet, he still has a shot at saving us both. Actually, why haven't the guards gone after him yet? Something's pretty fishy about that, no pun intended. Good work catching the surface trespasser, Prince Mikali. We'll get rid of her right away, sir.
What?
Prince? Oh, okay. You're the prince? Wow, he is the prince. But if you're the mermaid prince, then oh my god. It all makes sense now. Why Mikali was so confused when I didn't know who he was. How he realised so quickly that I wasn't from his kingdom. All this time, I was talking to the mermaid prince, and I thought he was just a simple peasant. I feel like an idiot. No matter what I say, there's no way the guards are going to believe their own prince was breaking the law. In fact, it sounds like they're going to credit him with capturing me as a trespasser, and Mikali will probably just agree to whatever they say to save his own scaly skin. The sorcerer's warning echoes ominously in my head. Stay away from the mermaid prince. Meeting him always ends in disaster. As much as I hate to admit it, looks like the old man sorcerer was right. As Mikali swims forward, I shoot him my most murderous glare. He flinches, but clears his throat and starts speaking in a calm, commanding voice.
Stop.
I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding. Please release the mermaid. What? He's actually sticking up for me. Exchanging confused looks, the guards obey. I grab another spear just in case they change their minds. Everyone, I'd like to introduce you to Captain Ushia, the illustrious leader of Mermaid-Maid. She and her companion Jack have travelled many leagues to visit our kingdom and bring well wishes from their people. Yeah, ahoy there. Mikali bows solemnly toward me, looking deeply ashamed. The royal guards bow as well. My apologies to all. As prince, it was my responsibility to ensure that Captain Ushia received a proper escort through the treacherous surface waters. Captain, I hope you can forgive me for this egregious oversight. He's seriously gonna cover for me. Well, I better play along then. Oh yeah, that was pretty careless of you, Prince Mikali. In Mermaid-Maid, we would feed you to the humans for screwing up like that. As Mikali straightens, I see him fighting to hide a smile. Of course, allow me to make it up to you by extending a formal invitation to stay at our palace. We'd be honoured to host you and Jack as royal guests for the remainder of your visit. Royal guests? Oh yeah.
Only if you don't mind.
Yeah, if you don't mind staying there, that is. Sure. Don't mind staying at the palace? Of course I don't mind. Not only does that give me direct access to the treasury, but I'll get to live it up in a fancy castle. I couldn't have planned it better myself. Suppressing a smirk, I sweep him my finest bow. We would be honoured to accept your invitation, Prince Mikali. The honour is all mine. I hope you have caviar. Oh my god. Mikali nods, then resumes talking to the guards. After a round of apologies and good-natured laughter, most of them return to their posts. One guard hands me a jar from his supply bag. Inside that jar is a bright green goop with the consistency of bilge sludge. I've never seen anything like this before. Am I supposed to eat it? Noticing my hesitation, Mikali dips his finger into the jar, then smears the gel over a cut on his hand. Taking the hint, I rub the salve over my injured toe. The pound in my fin instantly dwindles to no more than a dull throb. Wow, this mermaid medicine's amazing. If I can figure out how to copy this, I can sell millions of jars as a miracle cure. Or even better, I'll just use the real medicine to demonstrate my product, but sell a bunch of fakes instead. Mikali smiles at my excitement, unaware of my true intentions. I slip the jar into my top when he isn't watching. We make the trip to the Mermaid Palace in silence. The guard with the medicine bag swims behind us the entire time, which keeps me from asking Mikali the many questions running through my head. If Mikali's the mermaid prince, it's even stranger that he keeps going to the surface to help humans. Why would a prince of all people keep breaking the laws of his own kingdom? I mean, can't he just change the law if he doesn't want to obey it instead of sneaking around without his clothes? Unless he has some sort of weird appeal for him. As I'm pondering whether or not I'm really surrounded by perverts, Mikali catches me by the wrist. He points up before I can ask why, and I immediately forget everything else. Oh, is this the palace? An enormous palace looms above us, its crystalline walls radiating golden light. I'm not sure if the light is created by bioluminescent algae or mermaid magic, but it illuminates the ocean floor as brightly as a sunny day on land. Just looking up at all the glowing towers, the smallest of which would easily dwarf my ship, is enough to give me neck cramps. Welcome to the Mermaid Palace. I hope you enjoy your time. Okay. Even Jack is at a loss for words. I slowly push my jaw back into place, then force myself to nod. Okay, I guess I've seen worse. Oh, who's this? As Mikali chuckles, an actual Mermaid-Maid rushes out of the palace. She makes a beeline for the prince, nearly crashing into us in her haste.
Oh, my starfish.
Oh my god, thank goodness you're back. You must get dressed right away. She whips out a seaweed scroll and frantically scans its contents. Oh yeah, your meeting with the Royal Council is in 5 minutes, and they'll be very cross if you're late. I'm so sorry for the late notice, but Chief, was it Nurus, scheduled an emergency meeting too. He wanted to know if you prefer the scallops seared or slow cooked in the sea vents, and I said you probably didn't care. But that was a mistake, because he got really upset about no one appreciating his culinary genius, and said tonight's banquet couldn't go on unless... She stutters to a stop, as Mikali bows to order. Thanks for the update, Mimi. I'll check in with everyone right away. I'm sorry for not returning to take care of this sooner. Oh, don't apologise. I wouldn't want to make you feel bad or worry. You're not feeling bad or worrying now, are you?
Don't worry.
Not at all, since you've gotten me all caught up. I'm lucky you're always so on top of things, Mimi. I'll do my best to be more on top of things too, so that I don't keep causing you trouble. Oh, it's no trouble, Prince Makee. I just hope I was useful. Readjusting her glasses, Mimi inhales a deep calming breath. She chokes on the exhale when she finally notices me.
Is this really okay?
I'm sorry if this is a silly question, probably just my misunderstanding, but is it really okay for that mermaid to be swimming around in her underwear? Underwear? Wow, indecent exposure! With a squeak of embarrassment, Mimi hides her eyes behind her scroll. From what I can see of her face, it's growing redder by the second. It's very nice underwear, of course. I can definitely see why you'd want to show it off. Maybe I've just fallen behind the tides on the latest trends, but She doesn't dare to look up, not even when Mikali pats her on the shoulder. Relax, it's not underwear. It's just a traditional garb of my people. Where I come from, everyone dresses like this. Oh, is that so?
Right.
Is that so hard to believe? Your prince here isn't wearing anything at all. Double standards. Well, this is true. Pervert alert. I just thought I could swim faster when I'm wearing less. Too much clothes can increase water resistance, so I really didn't consider tease him. Change the subject, say nothing. Should I tease him? No, let's change the subject. Be nice. Whatever. It's not a big deal. So kid, you're Mimi or something, right? Yeah, Mimi. I mean, yes, this is me. I mean, yeah. She ducks her head to hide her bright red cheeks.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry for asking what I did so suddenly. That was very rude of me. And I definitely didn't mean to imply that there's anything wrong with the mermaid showing her scales. It's just, well, in our kingdom, clothes made in that particular style are only worn during certain activities between couples. What did you just say? I said, okay, I'll be going now. Please feel free to return to whatever you were doing before I was so rudely interrupted. Okay, it's not what you think. Are you sure? Cheers, Jack. I'm not sure I want to know what Mimi thinks. Both her and the prince's faces look hotter than steam from a sea vent. They might have melted into puddles of awkwardness if Mikali hadn't hurriedly changed the subject. Mimi, allow me to introduce you to Ushio, a visiting dignitary, and her companion, Jack. Howdy, howdy, goldfish. Give me the VIP treatment, right? I've invited Ushio and Jack to stay at the palace for a couple of days. I think this is an excellent opportunity to strengthen ties between our kingdoms. Would it be possible to have someone show them around the palace? I hope it isn't too much trouble. Even underwater, I can see sweat glistening on Mimi's brow, but at the sight of Mikaela's reassuring smile, she dutifully pulls out a fishbone stylus and makes a note on her scroll.
Okay.
Leave it to me, Prince Mikaela. I'd be honoured to help. You better get dressed for your meetings now.
Thank you.
Alright, cheers, Mimi. Okay, Ushio, I hope you and Jack enjoy your time here.
Only if you don't mind.
But if you're not busy later, you're welcome to attend the Royal Banquet this evening, or any other palace events this week. I'm sure everyone would enjoy meeting you and Jack. As I remember how little I've eaten the past few days, not to mention the coconuts I missed out on this morning, my stomach growls loudly. I fake a coughing fit to cover up the noise. Wow, thanks for inviting us, Prince Mikaela. We're certainly, we'll consider going. Free food, best palace ever. Mikaela smiles shyly at me, and I wait until he leaves before I turn to Mimi. Get straight to the point, be friendly. Take advantage of our nerves, be friendly. These guys, they're my cover, I need them. Way back when, my mother worked extra jobs as a maid to make ends meet. I knew how some of her so-called masters treated her, and even though she always tried to hide her bruises from me. It can't be easy to keep you cool around nobles, who could have you flogged with a snap of their fingers. Nervous as she is, Mimi probably just needs someone to put her at ease. Thanks for offering to show us around. This place looks huge enough to get lost in for days. I have actually. Not days, just for a few hours. When I first started working here, all of the hallways looked the same to me, so I never knew where I was. Well, I hope that doesn't happen during our tour. Oh no, it won't. I've made lots of notes on everything just to be safe. If I write something down, I usually won't forget it. As long as I don't lose my notes, I'm good, hopefully. With an heap of dismay, she starts fumbling with her apron. More seaweed scrolls rain to the floor, many more scrolls than I would have imagined fitting into her tiny pockets. I gather up all her notes and pop her lightly on the head with them. Don't worry, I'm kidding. You'll do fine once you relax. Alright, I'll try my best.
Got that?
Just Ushio's fine. I'm not big on titles, unless they're along the lines of the great and powerful or mighty scourge of the seas. Call me Sir Jack. I like the sound of that one. Right. Mimi starts writing it down on one of her scrolls. She only stops when I tap her on the arm. Don't worry about it. Honestly, you can call me whatever you want. Whatever you come up with. I'm sure I've been called worse. You saucy wench. You pox-faced bilge drinker. You flea-infested grog-snuffing strumpet. If you steal my rum again, I'll string your entrails over the yardarm for the gulls to eat. Well, it's his own fault for leaving it out in the open. Mimi blinks a few times and giggles as well.
Okay.
Alright, you guys, which part of the palace would you like to see first? How about the treasury? Managing kingdom finances happens to be a particular interest of... I'm interrupted by another growl of my stomach. Mimi discreetly hides a smile behind her hand. Maybe we'd stop by the kitchens first on the way. Alright, good idea. Off we go. And hence the 104th treasury pillar was renovated a fourth time, as per the petition lodged by the Reef Builders Association in response to the great electric eel incident of 200 tides prior. Wow, eels, they're tasty. I do like 'em with spiced rum. Pain shoots through my thumb. I bolt up with a yelp, only to realise I was chewing on my fingers in my sleep. Oh, are you okay? Feeling sheepish, I redirect my hand to the platter of leftovers Mimi got us from the kitchens. Jack is already face down on the plate, snoring as loudly as a rusty rudder. Sorry, food coma. To be honest, I'm not big on history lessons. Face falling, Mimi tucked away a seaweed scroll that she was reading from.
Oh
Was I boring you? I'm so sorry. The Great American Treasury is quite famous, so I probably went overboard on my notes for it. Nah, it's fine. I'm just less interested in architecture and more interested in practical things that I can apply to my own kingdom's finances. Just to compare, how much treasure is inside your treasury? Mimi hastily pulls the scroll back out of her apron. Let's have a look. According to the latest inventory records, there are 50,010,530 gold bars, 20,020,405 silver bars, 90,900 iridium bars. I swallow quickly, lest she see me salivating at the prospect of all that treasure. Millions. That make me the richest pirate in all the seven seas for sure. I'm the richest girl of all time. Okay, I see. That's very impressive. Now, what kind of protective measures do you use to keep out intruders? And have there been any notable thefts from your treasury in the past? Yeah, she's completely interrogating her now. Mimi's words catch in her throat. Her quivering fingers freeze, then clench over the sides of the scroll. As timid as she was before, this is more than just shyness or nerves. This is fear. Oh, of course not. No one can break into the Great American Treasury. That's impossible. So the treasury has never been breached in the past? Never. Liar. What if someone did manage to break into the treasury? What would happen then? Well, if that were to happen, the thief would be caught and executed immediately. That's the law of the kingdom, and no one escapes the law. A shiver runs down my spine, but I suppress it. That's what you think. There is one way to escape the law, and that's what I plan to use. Don't get caught in the first place. I see. Why don't we swim over to the treasury right now? I'd love to see it in person. Oh yeah, but swimming to the treasury won't be necessary. Okay, why? Because the treasury's actually right behind you. Oh, okay. Mimi gestures at the balcony. I've been leaning against the entire time. I hastily turn around. Let's get a look at it. Oh, that big glowy thing. Well, that was easy to find. Hundreds of yards below, a glowing stone building juts out from a crater in the ocean floor. It's surrounded by cracked slabs of rock covered in ancient runes. Every now and again, pulses of light flare up from the rocks, signs no doubt of their enchanted cause. The light surges along the stones and gathers above. I know in a glance that it's fueling magical protection spells. Magic, however, isn't the only thing protecting the treasury. Also circling the rocks is a legion of mermaid guards, all bearing long spears. The sorcerer only told me about the treasury's magical walls. He didn't mention any other obstacles. As the guards complete another circuit around the treasury, not once stopping for rest, my stomach twists. There's a lot of guards for one building, especially if that building is already protected by spells. Right, that's why it's impossible to break into the Great American Treasury. I searched Mimi's face for the fear I saw before. This time, however, she's inscrutable. Well, as usual, I should have thought things through better. I wasn't sure how I'd sneak past the treasury wards in the first place, and the guards make things even more complicated. I'll need more than brute force to break in, and there's also the issue of hauling all that loot back to shore. Perhaps I need someone with connections to help me out. Someone like an impressionable young mermaid prince? Yeah, Mikali and I have been getting along swimmingly so far. I don't think I should have too much trouble getting closer to him. Of course, this all depends on whether I can convince Mikali to trust me in the next 6 days, and whether I can actually trust him back. Or maybe I need something else to get into the treasury and haul the loot away. Something just as powerful as what the mermaids already have. My gaze falls toward the floor, or more precisely, toward my new mermaid tail resting against it. And as I've already seen, a little magic can go a long way. I wonder if the sorcerer could help me with that. Yeah, he acts all grumpy and cold, but maybe his bark is worse than his bite. Besides, he wants that red vial as much as I want the mermaid treasure. He has to help me for that at least, right? What's the best way to break into the treasury? Oh, I gotta decide now. Oh god. Okay, we have options. We've got split time between both options we can't do. That's not in the demo version. So we got Prince Mikali and the Sorcerer. Let's look at our options. Check out the stats. Alright, so far we've met these two characters and they're both kind of neutral. Well, seeing as the game's called the Pirate Mermaid, it makes sense to stick with the mermaid theme. We'll go for the sea path. If anyone can get into the Royal Treasury, it's sure to be the Mermaid Prince. I'll take my chances with befriending Mikali. As long as I stay one stroke ahead of him at all times, he's my best bet for getting that treasure. I flash a Mimi a grin. Okay, I think we'll go to Mikali's royal banquet after all. Are you going too? Of course I am. I'll only be a server though, not a royal guest like you. It will still be nice to see someone I know. I haven't met anyone besides you and Mikali yet. Oh, I'm sure we'll fit right in with the, Her smile sags into a frown at the sight of my outfit. Maybe I shouldn't show up in my underwear, right? Sorry, I don't mean to impose, but the palace dress codes are very strict, especially for such formal events, so I'm not sure if they'll let you in like that. That's kind of inconvenient, seeing as I don't have any other clothes on me.
You can do it.
Not to worry, I might not be able to do much, but at least I can help you with that. Come on, Mimi, let's do it. Everyone, please come quickly, we have a fashion emergency. With a snap of her fingers, a legion of mermaids instantly appears by her side. My jaw drops as they latch onto my arms. But for every maid I smack away, 3 more scurry in to take her place. What, make them stop?
Please behave.
Sorry, this is for your own good. Oh my god. What do you think you're doing to my hair? It hurts. Stop, I don't want to get my eyelashes curled up. In the name of Davy Jones, put down that brush or I'll stab you with this brooch. By the way, what colour would you like for your dress?
What?
What? I have to wear a dress. Alright, we're gonna get all dressed up. Oh, what's your style? Whatever you want. That'll do. Several hours later, I stagger out like a wounded soldier trudging away from a battlefield. My scalp is sore from being attacked by dozens of combs, and I can barely breathe in my fashionably tight underbodies. Oblivious to my pain, Jack swims happily along, admiring his new bow tie, pipe and top hat. Very, very smart. Yeah, even smarter than usual. These raw fishes don't have the shinies, but they do have style. Jack wants all their spiffy hats and snarfblats now. Okay. Speak for yourself. I'd rather wear a noose than a corset, not to mention that they pulled out half my hair trying to get out the knots. What's left of my scalp is still sore. Wincing, I yank off my heavy, elaborate headpiece. I'm ready to smash it onto the ground before I notice what it's made of. Actually, I think these pins are high quality silver. Oh, and this dress looks like waterproof Carmesian silk. If that's the case, I could be wearing enough money to literally be worth my weight in gold. Look at our swag. Jack is a proper gentleman now. I could get used to being a real fishy. Why are you staring at me like that? Oh, I'm just admiring your style, matey. You got quite the handsome bow tie, don't you think? It's very, very expensive looking. Okay, Captain's greed mode is activating. The buckle's solid gold, isn't it? Come a little closer, Jacko. I just want a little look-see. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't get grabby. There's a nervous cough behind us. Is everything okay, O'Shea and Sir Jack? You both look very nice, by the way. Jack instantly darts behind Mimi for protection. He hisses my shiny all mine at me several times. I make a face at him, then sheepishly turn to Mimi. Thanks, we're good to go now. We follow Mimi into the main hall. Once her back is turned, I whisper to Jack, who's busy fixing his outfit. Okay, Jack, we're going to be hanging out with mermaid royalty now, and you know what that means. Okay, no more biting people, right? Well, yeah, but what else? No scratching ourselves or burping in public? Okay, that's not so bad, but what's most important is not to talk like a pirate. You almost blew our cover by calling me captain in front of Mikali. Yeah, you just did it. Were you listening at all? That sounds like a trick question. What I said was to not talk like a pirate. Okay, sorry to interrupt, but we're here now. Okay, real shit, we're going in.